Hello everybody, this is Rebecca from Trump TV, and right now we are overlooking the water in Sarasota Bay after Hurricane Irma came through. It's been a few days. Today's Wednesday and the storm happened on Saturday. So it hasn't been quite a week, but I thought I would drive out here towards St. Armand Circle and kind of look at the damage. I was out the other day on Siesta Beach right after the storm happened, the day after. And I did notice that there were a lot more trees down coming out to St. Armand Circle and Lido Key. So the storm was pretty brutal to those trees that have been there for years. But like I said before in the other clip, thank God it was downgraded to a Category 2 instead of a Category 4 or 5 coming off the west coast, because it would have literally, with the storm surge, it would have put all the barrier islands underwater. And there would have been a whole lot more damage. Right now I'm still without power, so tomorrow will be day number 6 without power, and it is really super hot. So rather than sit around the house in the heat, I thought I would come out here and maybe do a clip. And I've been watching some of the news, what's been going on across the state as an example, those elderly people in the nursing home down south. I think they said it was 8 people who died from the heat. They didn't get them out. Hospital right across the street that was open. They didn't care. They died. It's really sad, everything that's going on. Jacksonville flooded out. Down south where it hit, flooded out. Miami got it. Pretty amazing storm. The hurricane that people here in Sarasota said, would never happen, and guess what, it did. But this time God was merciful, because if it would have come along the coast at a Category 5 or God forbid a 6, man, it would have wiped us out. I'm just amazed at all the chaos that's happening. Thought Texas was bad enough with Hurricane Harvey, now this, and earthquakes and everything else that's going on, natural disasters right after that solar eclipse, by the way. And then we have another alignment coming up on September 23rd. So between the natural disasters and the political chaos and protesters and the left basically all still going out of their minds, and the establishment and the liberal left that are constantly fighting President Trump at every turn. It's really pretty amazing, and especially if you watch these people. You watch the fake news, you watch these snowflakes and these paid thugs. The paid thugs that are down there robbing that, well, they weren't really paid thugs. That's just what they do, right? Breaking in there and stealing all those shoes right on camera, didn't care. I'm glad they got busted. But this is the world we live in. It's gone totally crazy. So the other day when I was sitting on my couch in the heat with no power, I was listening to Alex Jones and Roger Stone talking about the possibility of President Trump being drugged. And they actually called it poisoning, but that there's a very good possibility, according to their sources, that the president is being drugged to create some type of early onset dementia or Alzheimer's, so they could say that he's unfit to be president. And then you have, the people his own Republican Party along with the Democrats, just totally fighting him all the time. And I don't know how you do it, President Trump. It's just amazing with all this opposition you're dealing with. And as far as tomorrow goes, the president, the vice president, and First Lady Melania, they'll be going down to Fort Myers and Naples to kind of assess the damage and talk to the Coast Guard and the first responders. I don't know if I'm going to be heading down there because it's kind of last minute, and I'm still fighting with FP&L to try to get power on my street. And I know that there's probably a lot of chaos going on down there. So I'm not sure I'm going to make the trip down there. If it was this weekend, I'd be going and I'd be getting some footage of it. But in light of things that are going on, I might have to pass on this one, unfortunately, because I try to go, as you know, to get footage of the president wherever he is around Florida, within reason. I've covered a lot of miles, a lot of rallies, a lot of events. So I'd just like to give a big shout out to the president, vice president, and the first lady for going down to Southwest Florida tomorrow. These people really care. It's not just a photo op. They really care about people that are suffering. They care about what we're going through. This isn't a photo op. This isn't something that you would see Obama do. Just take a picture and it's all fake. But I tell you what, if there was any possibility that somebody in the administration or somebody in the inner circle, military or whoever it may be, was actually doing this type of thing to the president, drugging him or plotting against him, or you've heard the stories, and I just hope and pray that everything these people try to do will turn back on their heads. Everything will fall to pieces and come right back around on them, because these people are evil to the core. NWO people, OFA people. You got people that are still in the White House, still Obama's people, still there. And, President Trump has very few people that he can actually trust. And that's really, really sad. When you have such a small group of people that you can actually trust. And I'll say it again, in 2018, God willing, these people on both sides are going to be voted out. All the way across the board, left and right, and be replaced with America First candidates, because the majority of Americans are proud of our president. We're proud of everything he's doing. He's working as hard as he can. He's working harder than any other president we've ever had. It's just amazing. So President Trump, there are so many millions of us that are standing with you. And if anything ever happened to you, there would be war in this country. There would be big time war. So we need to keep you in our prayers for God to supernaturally protect you against all of these schemes, and let it come right back on their heads. Let every plan that they come up with, every single plan, let it fail. Let it absolutely fail, and let it astound them that everything they come up with falls in the dust. And like I've said before, people, we need to come together as one in America. And if you're out there on the lunatic fringe, if you're, out there on the left with all of your protesting and all of your madness, whether you're too far to the left or you're too far to the right, whether you're, BLM or KKK or whatever, we need to come together, people, and stop this nonsense. You people need to wake up. President Trump is trying to save America, and he's got all the forces of hell fighting against him. So let's keep him in our prayers. And I'd just like to say I am thankful as I look out on this bay that Sarasota is still standing and it's alive and well. And the state of Florida took a major hit, but could have been a whole lot worse. A whole lot worse. So let's be thankful for that. And I guess that's about all I have to say. And I'm being eaten up by mosquitoes right now, so I'm going to head on back to the house, and God willing, tomorrow morning my lights will be back on and I can get on down the road. Okay, everybody, this is Rebecca from Trump TV. Have a good night.